Welcome, everybody, to episode 254 of The China Show, the real China Show. Shout out to Waco, Texas.
It is, yeah, it's because it's 254. That's the area code.
Yes.
I didn't want anyone
Not for any other reason.
I didn't want anyone to think that was a different meaning.
No.
I will say this. Mm-hmm. This episode is dark. It's also very, very angering.
Yeah,
like,
we've thrown in good stuff too, though. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. But it's also going to be hilarious. Going to have some hilarious clips,
We got
too.
a good slapaganda.
We got a great slapaganda. Mm-hmm. I'd say this is an intense piece of investigative journalism we did today.
Yes.
And it really, talk about a mask-off moment for China in this case. Yeah. I would encourage you guys to please click like. A lot of people right in the beginning of this episode said they did not get a notification for this episode. We don't know what's going on. I'm not going to point any fingers. Just going to say, let's try to increase the visibility as much as possible. Yeah. Just click the like button. We have seen that when that happens, it tends to go out to more people's
We'd
feeds.
appreciate it. We do have some pretty incredibly interesting things happening in this episode. We're going to be doing segments that we've never done before on the show.
Yes.
So anyway, I can't wait to get right into it. So let's saunter right into it, shall we? Yeah. With what's new. Probably helps if I open up the media pack. What do you say?
It promptly does.
Okay, so... Let's saunter right into it with what's new. This is where we talk about everything that's new, specifically with regards to China. So we're going to show you a couple of clips here.
What do we got going on here?
Well, we've got the grab hags doing grab haggery in a different way this time.
Duck haggery.
Yeah, I mean, you might think that the whole idea of jumping over the subway thing is only a New York subway thing.
Yeah.
But no, don't worry. It happens in China too. It's just a completely different demographic. It's the old people.
It's old ladies.
It's not like some young, athletic dudes jumping over like, woo, yeah, with a hoodie.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of like old women trying to escape paying the fare.
Yeah, I do love to see that. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
And they are almost so short that they can kind of get away with it. They can just get
underneath, yeah.
They could claim to be like, well, I'm under a certain height. I don't have to go through it.
I used to get quite annoyed because going into the Shenzhen metro, you'd often find people that like try to follow you through on your scan.
Yeah. If they get real close to you.
Then they try to.
All the time.
So I'd always like purposefully go slow and like, frustrate them. Oh, yeah. This is
interactive.
Speaking of grab hags and grab haggery, there's a certain generation in China, we call them the lost generation. Yeah. Well, Chinese people call them the lost generation. Yeah. And they're all this kind of age. So we wanted to know, because something incredible happens in this particular little clip. We wanted to ask you, our audience, put in the chat, what do you think's going to happen? Okay?
I want to see every single person write in chat. And if you're not watching live, write a comment. Of what you think is about to happen. You can validate yourself later.
Yeah, okay, so you've got two women over here. They're, together, friends. And you've got one in the stripy thing with a green scarf and the other one in the puffy black jacket. Okay, and they're chilling out at this. There's a store selling, what would you say, like poultry goods?
It looks like ducks.
Yeah, bits of ducks, bits of... I guess fried and cooked things.
In the middle, you can see all the parts, right? There's the duck's feet and the duck's necks and things like that. It's those duck stands. Let's be honest, we know those.
We know the duck stands.
It's got like the cartoon duck or
stands.
whatever.
Ooh. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, I want everyone to put what they think in the chat and also hit click like, because if you're going to the chat to type something, it's very easy to click like.
So what will happen?
Leave it there. I want to read some of these.
Okay, yeah, please read some.
Takes a bike, puts it back. You said it was something incredible. I actually don't know what happens. This would makes this even better.
Exactly.
I have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
You did this part. 5-finger special. Feel the food. Stealing. Take a bite. Grab food, run away. Sneeze into the food. Taste testing. Take a sample.
Wow.
Take a whole plate of food. Duck wang. Woo.
Nice.
Duck wang. Woo.
Okay, anyway, shall we show?
Take bite.
Okay, some people seem to have got the idea. Look, she's very cautious.
No, it's not a JD Vance meme. There are some people guessing if it's a JD Vance.
Oh man, that would be great. We should have done that. We should have done that. Yeah, we should have. Dang. I'm sorry. Thank you for giving us that idea for next week, though. Okay, so let's take a look. Yes.
That's your incredible outcome. So you did troll the audience. It's literally a woman stealing a duck.
No, but okay.
That's news?
No. But what does she steal, though? Okay, so her friend there's like running interference, right?
Well, there's a duck that looks like that on the right.
Looks like she takes two things. Doesn't it? Look.
I think it's a split. It's split.
You think it's a split
Yeah,
duck?
it's a split. It's not the whole thing. It's split like where the thighs are.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, like chopped down the middle.
It's not just like two things that she just grabbed?
No, you know how like in China when they take the butcher knife and they chop it in half? It's like that, I think.
Okay.
So it's like a
split duck?
It's like a split duck.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest clip I've ever seen in my life. That's not news.
I just wanted people to get in a jovial mood. All right.
Is that jovial?
Yes.
What
Look,
if imagine,
it's like
imagine this audience's first time. They're like, I heard about this China show. They do some really excellent exposés, and it's a woman stealing a duck.
well, it's
That's how we started
it's
the
basically like a middle-aged woman crime.
Middle-aged?
I mean,
She's old.
late-aged woman crime syndicate going on over here.
Crime scene.
You know, like when you get medium to well on a
Yes,
steak.
yes.
So this is more like I'd say they're actually well done. Anyway, there they go. Oh, and she's
bonus!
and she still grabbed something to eat. So those of you who said take a bite, you're right. Those of you who said steal, you're both right.
Click like. You have to click like if you are right.
Yeah. So
right.
not only
Click
does
like.
she steal a whole split duck thing, she also grabs and steals something off the side. Off they go.
So they were working together.
Yes, it's a crime syndicate.
This is not click likable with this scenario.
This is pretty bad. This has been going around. Okay, and this is in rural China. There was a graveyard, and it was being leased. The land was being leased from the government, and of course the payment wasn't made on the lease, and so the government just came in and tore down all the graves, which is not what you want.
What?
Yeah, those are Chinese graves. Which, by the way, it's very conflicting about burials in China because, as far as I know, you're not allowed to do that anymore. You have to be cremated.
Yeah. Well, no.
What's the deal?
No. If you have special permission from your local area where your hukou is, you can be buried. Right. If they have the land appropriation for it.
Yeah.
You should be cremated under normal circumstances in China. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay.
I'm saying you can get there.
Yeah, no, I'm still a bit confused. I had to go visit ancestor graves, from my family, and it was in the mountain. We had to go clean it and like chop off leaves and vines.
You didn't dig them up. I mean, that's a bit close to home for
the
me,
problem.
So.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I'm not grave digger over here. No, quite honestly though, it was kind of a crappy situation because they are doing development in that area, and so they have actually demolished a bunch of graves in that area. In order to just put some real estate. Anyway, now this is one of the most Chinese clips you'll see all week.
Yes.
All right. Now let's take a look. There's an arrow pointing to the back, and you'll see why in a minute. Let's just see what's going on. Okay. Dude in the foreground, come and sit down at his table there.
So we're supposed to be watching.
But yeah, in the back, something's going on. Why are they so agitated?
Pause. Go back to the beginning of the clip. I think people missed the intro. I want you guys in chat to guess. I do want to take some guesses. I think this is a great interactive clip.
So it's another guest clip, so to speak.
So they're everyone's at Hot Pot. We need to set this up.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, and why is the table at the back suddenly so agitated? Why do you think?
What is it? So there's a theme. There was a main character dude walking in first, right? And she looks like she's looking at him.
Yeah.
Why is she so pissed off?
Yeah, why are they agitated? And you'll see.
We'll pause it.
She tells the dude sitting at her table, "Hey, look at that guy over there.
With another woman. Ooh. Rats, cheating, cool hand Luke. What?
Maybe he's a celebrity.
Phone dropped. Shill broth, peeing in the hot pot. That's very relevant.
It's coming on later. Look, now the guy's taking his phone out to take photos.
And he's cracking up. They're both cracking up.
So what do you think's going on here, guys? Let's find out, shall we?
Yes.
Okay, he's like hiding. He's like collapsing. What's going on?
He's dying.
He obviously has to go over.
He's like, bro, you're at the wrong table. His bro is on his phone.
Yeah, he was so locked into his phone, so oblivious of where he was. He sat down at someone else's table.
So people can see like when he walks in.
And he didn't notice. But we were looking at this clip earlier, and you pointed something out. Like, why did the couple at the table not react?
So, because he goes to the... I'm sorry, this is very disrespectful.
Yeah, it's very like...
The guy walks in, he's on his phone, he's like, I'm sitting down at my table. And they look at him, and they eat.
They're like, what?
They smile a little bit.
They're like, what's
going
on?
The guy doesn't. They just ignore him.
Yeah.
Why? What would you do?
I'd be like, can I help you?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
That would be mean.
No, I'd be like, you okay there, bro?
You okay, bro? Like, wrong table, bro?
Yeah, what's happening?
Yeah. What's your name?
Yeah, exactly.
But they just go on.
They just continue eating, and he's just on his phone. I mean, Do you think this would happen to you?
No, because I don't do that on my phone.
I also have situational awareness.
Yes.
Yeah. Whoops.
It's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
It's also very dystopian.
Oh yeah.
Like this is where we're at as a human civilization.
Try not to be that stuck in your phone.
Yeah, because China's like I said, about 5 years ahead on the phone addiction thing.
Yeah.
They've already gone full dystopia.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, this clip has been going around.
Oh.
I know it's your favorite clip in the world.
Can I preface by saying I cannot stop thinking about this clip, and I hate it so much.
How much do you hate it?
Like,
oh my dear, Shacklado.
like Shacklado level.
Yeah, I thought as much. Okay.
I will have another soundbite for you to play after we play it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Anyway, so let me set this up. There is a Chinese foreign student in the UK. For those of you who don't know it, when it comes to foreign students in British universities, Australian universities, Canadian universities, American universities, huge amount of Chinese students.
Most people probably know that.
Yeah. And that's, when the rich parents want to send their kids to study overseas. Also, CCP members send their kids to study overseas. Many reasons. Education.
Think Kim Jong-un, studied abroad, that whole thing.
Yeah.
CCP officials in China do the same thing with their kids.
Yeah. It's a couple of reasons. It's not just about a good education. Of course, to send your kid to study in a UK university or a British or American or whatever, it's about prestige. But it's also, once they're there, they can set up bank accounts, trust funds, get your corrupt money out of there, like buy real estate.
By the way, this is not everybody.
No,
I'm
I'm just
saying
saying
this is a trend.
It's a trend. It's a trend.
And it has nothing to do with her necessarily.
Yeah, we don't know that.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, she is a Chinese student in the UK.
Yes.
All right. And she does this thing where she is very annoying and wakes up very early and pisses off her neighbors. But we'll just show you the clip first, okay?
Good morning, my neighbors! Sunshine in London! Sunshine in the UK!
Okay, now wait. I'm going to stop it right there. Because that's annoying, right?
That's so... I don't want to be Karen about this, but... Don't wake up at like 5 a.m. and scream out the window in your shit British accent.
Yeah, but okay, this is a lot more sinister.
Yes.
Because she's not just doing that to piss off her neighbors. She's doing
She's
this.
not doing it once either.
No, she does it a lot. Like there's quite a few.
Went under her account.
Yeah, she does it quite a lot.
Tons.
But specifically in this instance, she's doing it because she's trying to destroy the international image of Japanese people.
How does that work? Because that's confusing.
It is confusing. Take a look.
Sumimasen!
So, sumimasen.
Go back and let's do it again.
Yeah, as you know, in Japanese, sumimasen means excuse me or, sorry, basically. And so what she's trying to do is pretend to be Japanese so that the locals, in her mind, so that the locals will be like, those Japanese people are so rude. Japanese people are so uncivilized.
There's two things here.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, that is the most immature piece of shit thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? To pretend to be a different nationality, to do something rude.
Yes.
To make everyone mad at a different country, even though you're the one doing it as a Chinese person.
Yeah, exactly.
The second thing is, no one is going to walk by here in some piece of shit London neighborhood and go, damn, I bet she's Japanese.
They're just like, that bloody insane bird.
Yes. I think she's Chinese. You know what I mean? There's no way anyone's going to go, oh, sumimasen, I know that word in Japanese.
Yeah.
Maybe 99% of people walk by and be like, what's that Chinese bird doing up there screaming at 5 a.m.? I'm bloody hungover.
Exactly, yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
You're right. But, this has kind of had the opposite effect, though.
Yes.
Because by trying to make Japanese people look bad, she's actually inadvertently made Chinese people look bad.
Yes.
Even worse, though, because it's not just a Chinese mental patient in the morning making noise. It's a Chinese mental patient
what's the main character's in?
trying to make Japanese people look bad. So then that makes them look even worse.
It does. It's
you know
actually
what I mean?
double bad.
It's double bad.
And number two, Japan's social media ran with
yes,
this. And they're like, F this girl.
And you've got Japanese social media influencers being like, this just shows you, China's just one big mental asylum and they're letting the inmates out.
The only thing you've done is make China look bad internationally and ruin the relationship between China and Japan, which China is desperately trying to repair now on a diplomatic level.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. American can go abroad and make America look bad, and the leadership in America doesn't give a shit.
Yes.
Right? It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
your own thing, right?
Get a rude
Individualistic
American
society.
tourist or something.
Yeah. But China doesn't allow that. If you go abroad and represent China and you make China look bad, you are in big trouble.
That's right.
So I guarantee she's going to get in trouble.
Well, she's at least going to have to remove her clips and stuff.
Can we get tortured one more time so you can play our new soundbite?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Good morning, my neighbors! Sunshine in London! Sunshine in the UK! Sumimasen!
I hate how she looks at the camera. It's such a main character syndrome.
Yes, exactly.
That's more appropriate.
Yeah,
you see how she looks at the
I think
camera?
this.
Yeah. Yes, me too.
Yes, I think that.
We finally got the soundbite.
Yeah, we did. We finally got a reason. Anyway,
You see how she looks at the camera though? You know when you're like, you're kind of doing something cheeky or bad. She has that crazy look. She looks at the camera like, oh, I'm gonna do
Ooh,
something
I'm so
bad.
cool.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm making Japanese people look bad on behalf of the nation.
You know what it reminds
of
me
the
of?
motherland. Yeah.
It's
Well,
like when someone tries to be funny and you just want to die inside for them because they're overly confident in what they're doing. It's not just embarrassing. It's like the overconfidence is so put on for a reaction that it makes you feel like secondhand embarrassment. And it reminds me of like in the 90s and early 2000s when everything's like, those music videos like, put me in a straitjacket.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
crazy. I'm going to go. You hold me back. It's kind of like that vibe. She's like,
It's very
I'm
annoying.
so wild and so crazy.
Exactly. It's
And
super
she does
annoying.
this all the time.
Yeah. It's terrible.
It's gross.
Yeah, it's gross. Anyway, I mean, don't try to pretend to be another nationality. If you're going to do something bad and irritate people, at least own it. At least be like, hey, look, I'm a wacky, crazy person, or whatever, and put it on yourself. Don't put it on. First of all, don't put it on your nation. Now you've just made Chinese people look bad. Do you think that's fair to the legitimate Chinese students that are there?
Soggy Sandwich says, I can fix her.
Sure.
No, you can't.
Sure. Good luck, my friend. Good luck. Go ahead.
All right. What's that? Oh, this is hilarious.
Okay, so
and infuriating.
what is going on here?
Well, at first I couldn't tell because the resolution is so bad. It's always shit 80p.
Shit 80p out of China, dude. What do you do?
There is a policeman about to go help this old woman standing in the middle of the crosswalk.
Yeah, just leaving her in the middle of the crosswalk.
Just leaving her there. It would be very dangerous to do this right now because there's so many of those errant drivers in China right now running over pedestrians. But anyway, that aside, there's a guy in t-shirt and shorts that is filming the whole thing.
Well, that's the whole point. It's a setup, right? So this kind of thing doesn't actually naturally happen in China.
No.
Okay, see, now they're setting up this heroic shot where he runs out to go and help this old lady across the street. And
It's
I
very funny.
just wanted to point that out because in China, from our own observations, anecdotally, you don't see this kind of thing happen. You only see it on the news. And they always portray, just like all these travel videos you see coming out of China, they always portray like China as something that it isn't actually.
Or on Red Note.
Yes. It's like, oh, look, they've got such kind and wonderful traffic police. You're right, dude.
Go there and
Go look.
look.
Yes, you'll see it.
We're not endorsing you to go to China, but if you did,
you'll
never
see
quite
it.
wake up.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see this, and you're like, oh, they're so nice, but that's just
Least
propaganda.
charitable country in the world. I love this. This flies in the face of this
take
Red
a
Note
look.
bullshit these days. So there is this copy pasta that was going around. Back, when TikTok was going to be banned and China tried to push everyone into Xiaohongshu Red Note, and it's just chock full of propaganda, right?
Right.
Part of this copy pasta was America's bad. You should overthrow your country. It's bad because in China we don't have to pay for our housing or food when we're old. We have Medicare taken care of. Everything's
Got good
taken care of.
social programs, which isn't true.
China doesn't have social programs. It's
Yeah,
a
please.
cutthroat,
Yeah.
poor
Don't listen
society.
don't listen to people that are uneducated and have seen something on Red Note or something. Because in reality, it's very difficult. That's why the family unit is so important in China. That's why your parents come and live with you when you get married.
Correct.
Okay? It's very difficult. You have to rely on your family as your retirement, basically.
Yes. The government
Okay?
does not take care of it.
No. And how about this? This is legitimate propaganda that's going around these days, and it says having 3 children is good.
Yes.
All right? Then the state doesn't have to care for you when you're old.
Literally says that.
That's what it says.
3个孩子就是好，
Yeah.
不用国家 lai yang lao.
Yes, you don't need
So,
a young those Lao. You know what I'm saying?
Look, this banner is across the whole country, by the way. It's
Yes.
on old style propaganda, or it's on paint. It's on new style banners. It says, have 3 kids now.
Yes.
Trying to get rid of the one-child policy. Have 3 kids now, because then the state won't have to raise you.
That's correct, which is in complete contrast to what was up a few years ago.
Yes.
You know?
We literally thought this was fake.
Yes, we thought this was
We had
nonsense.
but then we started seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, we started
on
to
the
look it up.
Chinese
Yeah,
internet.
and the banners are appearing all over China. So it's real propaganda. So here it is, like, again, outside a school, I think, or some kind of government building. But basically, what they're trying to tell you is like, well, you don't even need to put a burden on the state if you've got 3 kids. You don't need to
Yes.
worry about the state looking after you because it won't anyway.
By the way,
What?
got a big. It's funny that it happened now.
Yeah.
But when you put this up,
Yep.
you know, this propaganda banner, a shit ton of trolls came into the chat.
Makes sense.
So I want everyone to say hi to the trolls.
Sure.
In the chat, welcome them. We had a lot of great USAID comments.
Yes.
The NPC comment. By the way, if we were getting USAID funding and it's been cut off now, then why are we still on YouTube, my friends?
Yeah, why are we still making
We
our
need your
shows?
money more than ever. We're independent.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to the trolls. That's really good. We getting good engagement.
Yeah.
Click like if you want to say welcome the trolls. Show them that this episode deserves more eyes on it.
Yeah. You know what it really annoys me about this, right? Is it just proves how crappy the Chinese government is. It thinks that people in China cannot think for themselves. They have to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was only a couple of years ago, when I first got to China, they still had the one-child policy.
Yes.
And they still had the one-child policy propaganda. There were still murals up on buildings saying having one child is glorious. You know?
Yeah.
And showing this stupid thing about like a family in the park with a camera and stuff to show that you can be wealthy if you only have one child, you know?
Yeah.
Or wealthier. Than
It
if you
shows
have
you
more.
that it's like a switch that they just turn on and off.
Just showing you that this is widespread around the country. It's not just one instance of one banner that was printed out. It is all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like having 3 children is good, then the state will not have to take care of you.
When
you know,
you're old.
when you're old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to fires, but hang on a second. This is not like the usual fires. Don't worry, you're not going to see what's his name, Huo Guo Pang Wang. Okay, there's something else going on here. Solar panels are causing fires because of the photovoltaic inverter thingy.
Yeah, the box thing.
the converter thingy. You know what I'm talking about. Anyone
Chinese
who knows
solar
about solar
technology is very safe and high quality. Leader of the world.
quality.
High quality.
But basically,
If you know, you know.
you've got your solar panels, then you've got like a little inverter box thingy on the back of the solar panel, and then the cables go down to your battery and all that other stuff, okay, which is
Yes.
separate. So, you don't have the batteries aren't up on the roof. But whatever that, the electronic package that's on the back of the solar panels, there have been quite a few of them catching on fire, as you can see, which is quite concerning. Especially when you consider that China brags about having, the best solar, in the world, or the most amount of solar in the world. Don't know about you, but I wouldn't feel very happy if I found out I've got a cheap Chinese solar panel on my roof right now.
Yeah. Or a inverter box or
Yeah.
any components, really.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a good point, isn't it?
But you've seen these, you can see it here as well. You've seen these big, fields of solar panels
Yeah.
where they put them on mountains and
Yeah.
stuff in China, right? They're always lauded as being so incredible and, ahead and forward-thinking. Yeah, it's hot. But there's an issue. Just because you make the most of something doesn't mean you're a leader or the best at something.
I think this is a poetic example of that.
Yeah.
Because that's the most.
Yeah, you can make the
But
most
it's
of something.
the worst. You can make the most of something, and it's probably the worst of something.
Yeah, so I just want to give an analogy here. If you have 2 bakeries next to each other,
Yes.
one builds artisanal cakes and, it takes maybe a day for them to make one cake, but it's really nice and
Yeah.
the best ingredients and it always turns out good.
Yep.
And you've got one next to it that just pumps them out, low quality, crappy cakes that are rock hard and they're dry and they don't taste good, but they're still a cake. That's a good analogy when how China approaches almost every single industry.
Right, the cakes suck,
Yes.
but there's a lot of them.
But they look nice. It's got a good glaze
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
So it's the
Good glaze
same
in China.
Exactly. It's the same with solar panels and stuff. They'll be like, we're the world leader in solar panel
Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, but they're not great, are they?
Quantity over quality.
that type of thing. That's just a quick analogy. But anyway, just to show you that these things are not exactly the safest thing in the world.
Leader of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we have had some more ruination, by the way, but it has been another week of fires, as usual.
Yeah.
I'm not going to show you, like, little
No,
apartment
I mean,
fires
this
or
is
something.
starting to become like a stuck record. It's like every week
Yeah.
you're like, oh, look, here's a bunch of fires in China. Oh, take a look, another factory or another. This is a bridge on fire.
Yeah, a lot of infrastructure on fire. We've seen multiple ones of these. Remember
This is
that
another
raining
fire waterfall.
thing?
It happens off
Dude,
bridges.
it's pretty amazing. Can we see that?
Yeah.
It's these fire waterfalls.
It's usually a truck carrying chemicals that catches fire that causes this.
Oh, it makes it sound like you're trying to, like, downplay. Oh, it's just that.
Yeah. It's just a truck
Oh, it's just a
spilling
truck carrying-
noxious
it's just-
chemicals that, like, you got fire waterfall.
Oh, it's
What
just
is-
that.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, no big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, but
But there is some serious ruination going down.
yes. Do you have the clip of the workers on the roof? Okay, because that's
Kind of like fiddlers on the roof.
that should
that's
probably
after this.
it's after this.
Yes.
Okay, I thought we were going to play that before.
Either
All
way.
right. Well, this is Beijing Nanjiang.
Okay.
Okay, and for those of you who don't know, it means Beijing South Station.
Mm-hmm.
What happens in the Chinese Constitution if you have a gripe? If like, your rights are being trampled on, the local government's come and, like, I don't know, demolished your house without you asking, or
So remember, China on the Freedom House scale is 8 out of 100, right? It's one of the worst countries in the world. However, in the Chinese Constitution,
yes,
by comparison, America's 84 out of 100, by the way.
yeah,
Just in case you've been watching Red Note too much. I don't want to get tripped.
yeah, sure.
I did see a video pop up on my feed today. It said China's like, this American found out China's truly like free or something. Anyway, 8 out of 100. If
Yes.
you go, or if you have a problem with the government in China, technically in the Constitution it says you can go physically.
Yes.
You have to go physically.
You physically, yeah.
Physically go to the People's Hall in Beijing.
Yes.
And you petition your gripe. So let's say a factory's polluting your town and everyone got cancer. Happens every day.
Sure.
Let's say a bridge collapsed in your city and your family died.
Yes.
Let's say you think the government should relax regulations on certain things. You technically can take this petition and go, knock, 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 People's Hall. I want to talk to the government, file this petition. And that is a Soviet rule, by the way.
Yeah.
This is a copy of a Soviet rule. It's the idea that it's a people's government, the People's Republic of China, so therefore you can address your
Yes.
problems to the government directly. You don't need to go through bureaucracy like in these other democratic countries, right? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
In fact, it is so illegal off paper
Yes.
to do this that you will destroy your life if you do this.
Oh, yeah, it'll affect your social credit score.
So when I translated the social credit score documents, the first ones, the one that was put up by Rongjiang, a city that we actually visited, it's a model communist city in northern China. Fascinating place. Very
If you like-
potty mouth old ladies that shuck oysters. By
Well,
the
I'll tell you one thing, though, like, it's a model of what? Concrete?
way. Yes. Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
Rongjiang had the first documents of the social credit system, so I translated them. One of the most heinous crimes that actually takes your base score of 1,000, drops you down. So
Yeah.
your kids can't go to school. You can't get any social programs.
can't buy
that
a
don't
high-speed
exist.
rail ticket.
You can't buy high-speed rail tickets. You got to take the slow train with all the other peasants. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
One of the biggest things that contributes to your score dropping is if you go to petition to Beijing, something
Yeah.
in the Constitution.
Yeah.
It says if you exercise your right, your score in life will drop.
Yeah.
You're done.
Well, here's the thing. People still do it because, I mean, you've got this propaganda blasted down your ears and your throat every
Yes.
day in China saying, you have the right. We have a constitution. You can petition the government. Our government's fair. If you do try to go and petition the government, they know about it because you would have talked about it with your friends or you would have, probably contacted the government or
Yes.
something. And this is a clip of petitioners arriving in the Beijing South Station and plainclothes police violently taking them away.
So yeah, I would say this is, if you could pause it on the keyframe there. I'll try.
Yeah.
This is emblematic of when you go past what I just said.
Yeah.
When you've already lost your social credit in your town, right? So in the whole grand scheme of things, you are now locked into a system where you can't participate in society. Let's say you do it, you still do it. You want to use your rights. They will hire the equivalent of a plainclothes police officer, some sort of intelligence, to whisk you away and potentially disappear.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Again, in my own life in China, my wife's friends did some kind of peer-to-peer lending scheme.
Yeah.
It was very popular in China about 10 years ago, or eight years ago, I'd say. Did this massive peer-to-peer lending thing, and they all lost money. Okay? So they were all part of a group on WeChat, and they were all discussing about going to Beijing to petition because they want the government, because they're told the government's always got their best interests in heart.
Everyone learns this.
Yeah. So they want to go to Beijing because they want to go, hey, listen, these peer-to-peer lenders have ripped us off. They ran away with our money. Can you help us? Because they expect the government to step in and force them to pay the money back. That's what their mindset is. And that's what they're discussing in their little group. And what happened was people in that group got called, like, not them personally, but their bosses, where they worked, were getting calls from the government to say, tell your employee if he comes to Beijing to try and petition that he will lose his job. The government called his employees, one of the guys. A couple of them managed to make it to Beijing, and they weren't allowed to get off the bus. The plainclothes police were there. It's just insane. They don't want this.
No.
It's one of those things, oh, sure, of course, anytime. Come talk to me anytime. But meanwhile, no way. If you try that, you're in trouble.
You know where this is really indicative?
What?
Is when you see, like, let's say a local government bulldozes a bunch of people's houses.
Yeah.
And people fight back with fireworks and they're like clashes, people die.
Sure.
The protesters, right? The people that are rising up against the government will say things like, 共产党万岁.
Yeah.
They'll say,
Yeah.
Communist Party, 10,000 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Long live
Long
the
live-
Communist
yeah.
Party, right? And you're like, you watch that and you have dissonance. You
Yeah.
go, you're literally fighting with weapons against the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing that you're
hate.
cheering on. Yeah.
Yes, but you're cheering it on because the dissonance is there. Like
Yeah.
you said with your wife's friends, they've learned that the government has their best interest in mind, the central government.
Yes.
When in fact, it's the central government employing these laws.
Yes, exactly. So, kind of in the same vein, we've got a group of, workers here demanding their wages, and this was like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
What was the name of the company again?
I have it here. Let me just pull it up. This is called the Guangdong Foshan Geometry Ceramics Company Limited. And
Okay.
They slept on the roof for 3 days.
Yeah, you can see they've got all their some like mattresses and stuff, but they stayed on the roof for 3 days to demand wages.
They're not getting paid. Why are they not getting paid, Winston?
Well, because the Chinese economy at the moment is actually in dire straits. It's not good.
You wouldn't think that if you keep listening to all the bullshit glazing that people are doing about China right now.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk to the workers? If
Yeah.
you can glaze China, go talk to the workers. See how they're faring. See how the unemployment is right now.
That's how you can really tell if China's doing well or not, is if the sort of low-level factory workers are actually surviving or not.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
You look at their conditions and then you can tell, because that's your canary in a coal mine,
Yes.
you know?
And do you know what happens when they don't get paid? Well, you're about to find out. As we've been telling you every single week, multiple factories have been completely destroyed.
They have.
But before we show you this absolute devastating ruination, we are going to do a super chat goal. And this one's actually really fun. I'll tell you why.
Yeah, we got to lighten the mood here a little bit,
Yes.
guys. Okay. We actually made a little mini documentary over on Xiaoban Ho probably a year ago
Yes.
now. And so we've decided if we reach today's super chat goal, we're going to release it for free right now in the chat, in the description, so that everybody can watch it.
Yes, I'm just going to write it here. I'm making the goal. So basically, if we get more than 30 super chats, everyone will get a link to this. Only in the chat if you're here live, by the way.
Yeah, but we'll also put it in the description for
Of course.
Yeah.
But you'll get it here live
Yeah,
today
yeah.
if we hit the goal. Documentary.
Well, let's hit it. Then we'll show everybody what it's actually all about so they can decide whether they want to contribute.
I do want to say it's about a cult that started in China that both you and I have very personal experience with. And it was an English-speaking cult. And this is nuts. Look at the first promo material for
let's
it.
take a look. We'll show you what we're talking about here. Super chat goal 30.
It's a great one. It's very interesting. Good insight into China.
Oh, this is a long...
The goal is live now, by the way.
Yeah, this is a very long...
Well, just absorb it. Take it in, guys.
it's very 90s looking.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it a lot.
Yeah, but it's taking too long.
It is. I think it may be frozen.
No, it hasn't frozen.
Oh, okay. Well, we're just enjoying this delicious graphic.
I'm
being
going to have to
created.
fast forward this. Like, how long did you make this? There it is.
Back up.
Okay, I'll back up. Okay, here it
Now we
comes.
get to watch it.
Finally.
We
Okay,
get to watch it
finally.
more. No, we can watch it more now.
Why is it so long?
Well, it's to
Don't
let
do
everyone
this.
know that they can participate in the super chat. If you give us
Here you
super
go.
chat.
Kill. kill.
Crazy English, crazy life, crazy work, crazy study. Be crazy every day, every minute, everywhere. I love this crazy game. Crazy life, crazy work, crazy study, crazy every day, everywhere, every time. I want to be crazy. I love this crazy game. Let's join this crazy game. Crazy world, crazy study, crazy English, crazy study, crazy everything, crazy every day. I love this crazy game. Crazy. Oh, crazy, 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 crazy. Let's go. Oh, crazy. Oh, let's go. Studying English crazy, crazy world. I love this crazy game. Crazy, 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 crazy,
Yeah,
Hold on,
yeah.
there's a little more.
Oh, there is.
They granted a divorce on the grounds of domestic violence to American Kim Lee and Lee Yang.
Yes, so we have a super chat goal. If we hit 30 super chats, you will get the link to that for free. We did a full-on investigative journalism episode. It's probably about almost 2 hours long.
Yeah.
It's a good one. We went to the beginning of the cult, went to the peak of its popularity, talked about the effects on Chinese society because it was massive.
And don't forget that when we first got to China, it was still in full swing.
In fact,
I ran into a lot of this when I first got to China.
In fact, I'd say up until like 2014 or something.
Used to get people accosting me on the street with this nonsense.
It was crazy. We told all those stories.
Yeah.
Crazy English. It was such a weird cult. And it was tens of millions of people were in this cult.
Yes.
And it's weird how quickly cults do take off in China.
Yeah.
But it's really, really interesting. It's gone now. There's remnants of it, and there's like a smoldering wreckage, and we cover it. We managed to find the little pieces that are still left over, and it's the people involved are weird.
Yeah, it's
so we did the whole thing from beginning to end.
Yeah. So if we hit our super chat goal, we will be releasing this entire mini documentary for free here in the live chat and in the description.
We'll read your super chats later during the Q&A section.
Absolutely. Yes. Anyway, let's move on from this because back to the poor workers stuck on the roof.
Yeah, what happens when they don't get paid?
Well, they generally get disgruntled.
Domestic violence to American Kim Lee and Lee Yang.
No, they get disgruntled and set factories on fire.
Yes, and how many times is going to happen every week? Again, if this is American news, if a factory that was it's responsible for a massive amount of GDP output was to burn down on purpose,
yes,
it would be on major news. There is no news of this.
No, of course not. I mean, don't forget, we've been showing you guys this sort of thing every single week. Again,
every week.
Don't want to be a stuck record here. Just have to gloss over this quickly because we've got a lot more to cover in the show.
Well, because it keeps happening.
It keeps happening. We just have to keep telling you. This is the reality in China right now. It's not like, look, the 22nd floor on the ground floor.
No.
And a train going through a building. It's more like
propaganda.
Like a fire going through a building.
Yeah, were those guys talking to Glaze in China, right? Some of those YouTubers that were Glaze in China in those like incentivized tourism videos, they'll go around the rest of the world and say, look at how shitty this is, but then go to China and say it's absolutely amazing. And they don't cover what's actually happening.
No, they don't. It's disingenuous. It's unfair. By the way, this bear, we like this bear. You know why?
Why? He's Alaskan, by the way. This is in Alaska.
It's Alaskan bear, so he's an American bear?
Yep.
Well, here in America, then, what do?
We fix the bike. We
pick up the bike.
That's what we do in America, and we know you guys. I've literally had people. By the way, if you're new here, we showed a clip. Can you pause it?
Sure.
We showed a clip of a Beijing street scene, and there's a bike in the middle of the road, and we're like, if
it's
we
actually
were there,
on the road. It's fallen off the
like,
sidewalk. It's like half on the sidewalk, half on the road.
Blocking the sidewalk and the road.
Yes.
We're like, if we were walking by, we'd fix the bike.
We'd pick
up
it
the
up,
bike.
yeah.
And so we polled the audience. 60% of you said they would pick up the bike. 40% of you said that you wouldn't. We were very disappointed.
Yeah.
However, we explained why. It's just it's a good thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's an analogy for all of life. Once you see something wrong, you address it. You have the confidence to actually stick up for somebody that needs help.
Yep.
You pick up the piece of garbage that's in the way. You stop the annoyance that's annoying everyone else. You do something about it. And that's our motivation for doing this show, to point out China's wrongdoings in this world that no one will do anything about.
Yes.
There's almost no one talking about this.
We'll
stuff.
also show you the cool things about China too.
Of course.
Which we have coming up, by the way, a cool fish thing.
Very cool.
Very cool.
But you pick up the bike. It's an analogy, and look at even bears in America will pick up the bike. Bears are cool.
Yeah, bears are cool. You are right. You're true.
Thank you very much. We already hit goal.
Holy crap.
What the?
Hang on a second. We hit goal. Give me a second.
Dude, that's 3 minutes. I got to make the goal better.
No.
time, I'm saying.
This is great. Thank you, guys.
I'm saying I got to make the goal higher next time, or else there'll be nothing to achieve.
Well,
you guys are amazing.
No, that's incredible. Oh, you're gonna release it now? May as well.
Yeah,
we
sure.
hit goal
For sure.
All right, guys, we're going to put both in the description, so don't go and leave the show now to go watch that nonsense.
No. You can load it up.
We're going to put it in the description. We're going to put it in the live chat. Load it up for afterwards. You will enjoy it if you haven't seen it.
You'll follow me, okay?
Yes.
Can you do that?
Okay, of course I can.
You'll follow me, okay?
All right. And by the way, everyone say thank you to the people that contributed to the goal, because now you have the link. I will pin it.
Okay, please do.
I actually wonder, and this is little sausage inside the sausage factory thing. You said put it in the description for the people that aren't live. It might be an incentive to join live, not just to pay super chats, because everyone got it for free if they're in chat right now.
Sure.
Maybe you should be here for live for the super chat goals.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, I'm saying next time. I'm saying
Maybe
like
next time.
going forward.
Okay,
I think it's
see.
a good incentive. We want you guys here live. It's fun. It's a party.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue, shall we? And by the way, thank you for your generosity, everybody who contributed.
Yes.
You've now managed to give everybody something interesting and fun to watch after the show.
Crazy life. And by the way, we're still taking super chats because we will be answering them in the Q&A.
Of course we are.
Yeah, just
Why
saying.
would we not?
I'm saying don't be like, oh, they're not open anymore. They're still open.
We have a word.
We do. We have a word.
Okay, so guys, you know what? It's time to get healthy. If you're not healthy, you got to do something about your health. No matter what you do, try something. And if you're going to try something, try AG1.
Thank you for saying that. Just like people declutter their homes in March, right? Do you do that?
No.
Oh, well, a lot of people do. It's called spring cleaning. Maybe it's an American thing.
I mean, I like
also,
to declutter homes, but...
Sure. It's also a great time to refresh your nutrition and daily habits. Feeling refreshed and ready starts in your gut. And the pre and probiotics in AG1 helps to support your digestion. How does AG1 help us? Well, AG1 helps us because when we started drinking it, we started feeling better.
AG1 helps me because I'm incredibly unhealthy and I've got to do something. So this makes me feel as if I'm doing something, and it does work.
Yes,
it has helped me
the
with
best
brain
way to
fog.
say it. Yeah, it's helped your brain fog. It's helped me with my digestion. It's been fantastic. It's just a great. Not only is it a great product, it's something that you can be proud as supporting us. Yes. Because when you support our sponsors, they support us, right? Mm-hmm. It's a great circle and it's a great product. We would never, ever try to sell you something we don't use ourselves every single day.
Exactly.
When it comes to my health, I want something I can trust, and that's why I choose AG1. With science-backed ingredients and real benefits, I can feel AG1 makes it easy to support overall wellness every day, and that's why we've been partnering with AG1 for so long. AG1 is offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/ADV to get this offer. That is drinkag1.com/ADV to get your new year on a healthier note.
Yeah, exactly. Since it's still New Year.
It is. I mean, it's March, right? It's the beginning of the year. This year, most of the bulk of the year is to come. Okay. Yes.
Sure. That's good news. Yeah, I like that idea. It's kind of like a procrastination thing. You're like, oh, it's only just started, so, I can deal with things later. But next minute, it's November, and you're like, actually, maybe I should start taking this year seriously.
Now.
Sure.
No,
sure.
Don't put it off.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to show you something very cool from China, Beyond the Great Firewall. You translated it. This is your segment. Yeah. But don't forget, we've got a hilarious propaganda. But it's not just hilarious coming up. It is really...
investigative journalism.
If you're going to stick around...
I'm proud.
If you're going to stick around for one thing, it's going to be the propaganda later, okay?
Which feeds into soft power hour.
Yeah.
It's a real expose.
It's crazy. Okay, Beyond the Great Firewall. Take it away, Beyond the Great Firewall, dude.
So, that's where I take you inside the Chinese internet. This is going around.
Dude?
Yeah. This dude, can you take us out?
Yeah.
I'll set it up real quick and then we'll just play it.
Okay.
This dude, he's our age. He's our age.
Yeah.
Right? He went back to his hometown, which is Zunyi in Guizhou. We both been there.
Yes.
And it's very cool. There's a lot of caves in the area. This is an old communist stronghold back when they were trying to hide and let all the nationalists do all
By the way, did you know that is it 300 or 600 million people in China still live in caves?
It's less now, so it's probably closer to the
300.
Yeah, and a cave 200. Is a very loose Very, very, very loose definition. I did go to the cave homes. There's the ones that are famous in Shanxi, but I went to the ones in Inner Mongolia near Shanxi. And there will be like a dwelling and then their house, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean, it's like
it's
still a
like
hole
kind
in
of like a, sure. This
Just
guy
saying.
took a cave, a proper cave.
Would they be classified as cavemen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
This guy took a proper cave. He's about our age. And he built a house facade in front of it.
Yes.
But realized the water was so beautiful and pristine inside. And it would be because it's hard to get fresh water in China.
How do you buy a cave? I feel like you can't buy land in China.
Well, I mean, he bought
he leased
rights
the,
to lease the area,
leased
right?
the area.
Inside, it turned out to be this huge, beautiful, like fairy tale cave of crystal clear spring water coming down the mountain, not from factories or anything.
Yeah.
So it's actual pure fresh water.
Excellent.
And he goes, what am I going to do? I'm going to resurrect the Chinese sturgeon, which is a very, very, endangered fish, right?
Right.
Because it's, everything in China is overfished. People,
That's right,
People
yeah.
take the piss, right? So this guy did a great thing, and this is one of the coolest things I've seen
Well, let's take a
recently.
look, shall we? I'm curious.
Let's go.
一对80后夫妻厌倦了城市里的生活，回农村老家在山洞里建起房子，从此过起了神雕侠侣般的生
lived
活。
life in the condor here. So that's a novel.
Yeah.
They raised tens of thousands of fish in the cave, and they made a whole cave like a fairy cave. So you see the house facade? How long have you lived here? Go ahead.
I'm more interested in what he's wearing. Like, seriously, what is he?
Cute bear.
It says cute bear?
It's a full-on, fluffy outfit. I love it. I actually love it.
That's pretty cool.
It's comfy.
You know what I don't like?
What?
Oh, these stupid railings. You see, he's got them up in the house
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It
Those
looks like wood,
they're
but it's concrete.
yeah.
It's made out of concrete. It's so horrible. You know what I mean? It's like
It's
fake wood.
ubiquitous, though. It's
Yeah, you see it
ubiquitous.
all over China. That's why I said I hate it, because it's literally something you go buy, right?
Yes.
So you can go buy it in a Home Depot type thing. Get your fake concrete wood fence
True.
here.
Now
Anyway.
let's play this unadulterated. so we
Okay,
don't-
okay,
we
sorry.
don't wanna dwell.
But I love his cute bear.
All men dwell often, not in caves.
Dude, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
I love cute bear, though.
Yeah, cute bear.
He lived here almost 10 years. How's the environment here? He said, in terms of daily life, this place is comfortable to live here. It's warm in the winter and cool in the summer. It's always warm in here because it's obviously cut off, right?
Sure.
It's got a constant temperature. So when it's hot out, which it is in the summer, it's still cool in there.
Cave
vice
life.
versa. This is hashtag cave life.
Yes.
So this is the house. It's a small facade on the outside, and you can see the cave behind it, right?
Yeah.
His whole family lives there, right? He's
Yeah.
got a kid and his wife. And they have like a little shop set up in the front because obviously if you're coming through the road, you're going to stop by some local
Yeah.
baijiu. They make baijiu.
Oh, okay.
Because, in Guizhou,
Yeah,
as you
yeah,
know, it's
that's
the
the
biggest
place.
baijiu, makers.
Yep, exactly.
And it's cool. See this like fake plant thing? When you go up here, it actually enters the cave. And I was overwhelmed because I thought this was going to be shit. to
Yeah,
be
because it
honest.
looks crappy concrete staircase.
It's awesome. Look
Oh,
at
he's
all
got
this.
the rope lights.
Yep. But you
Dude,
see
it's
that-
like Elon Musk's tunnel.
It is, but he's actually doing something with it.
True.
He's actually helping the nature. See, he's making his own baijiu there
That's cool.
in the sills, and see all these stalactites are all intact. He kept
Yeah.
everything intact, so he built these stairways through the whole thing. So it's
That's-
a proper cool cave, right?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
What's even cooler is this spring water, which he does for free of charge supply to the entire town. By the
That's
way,
excellent. Yeah,
which is really cool.
Because you need that. Everything's
You do.
poisoned in China.
It
so.
is. He's helping out the community.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look down here. See the
That's
sturgeon?
that's actually super cool.
They prefer to live in caves because they're
Yeah.
almost blind and they like to be away from light.
I mean, and it's a controlled environment,
Yes.
temperature controlled.
And it's pristine water, right?
Yeah,
So you're not
yeah.
getting carcinogens in that water.
Yeah, look at the size of those. Those are awesome.
Big, right?
Yeah.
And he's raising them so they're not endangered anymore, right? He's
Yep.
actually bringing back the population, which is
Yes.
fantastic. You don't see this very often in
No,
China.
you don't.
You see a lot of stuff go extinct. So look at this waterfall.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's cool.
And see how the fish they're trying to get the oxygen from the waterfall, so they hang out under there.
Yeah.
See how high this goes up?
Dude, that staircase doesn't look very structurally
I
sound.
never
to
said
me.
it was. I never said it was.
It's like got one concrete little
It's definitely haphazard.
twig holding it up. Yeah.
But you see how the pools in the cave are
Yeah.
like on each level?
It's
so
multi-tiered.
cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Look at all the sturgeon in here.
Let's take a look.
Isn't that cool?
That is very cool.
Very cool looking fish. Prehistoric fish, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're raising dinosaurs in a way.
Yeah.
Very, very neat.
Sometimes they weigh 8 caddies.
Yeah, which is a gin. So that's about
Yeah.
a pound.
Yeah.
Thereabouts. It's very cold. These are cold water fish. And yeah, he gets this spring water here, which is from the mountain water, right?
Yeah, yeah.
and he actually pipes that through that pipe. So it's not the one the fish is in.
Yeah.
It's coming from the source, and he pipes that to the town.
Yeah,
The town has fresh water.
Yeah, he's just said that there. Yeah.
So they'll stop by and they'll actually come and fill up their water buckets and stuff. Very cool. I just wanted to applaud such a cool effort.
Me too. It's good. Like when you see something positive like this, absolutely we're going to put it up here on the show.
Sure.
It's very important. It is slapaganda. I'm sorry. After all, and we've got, Huo Guo Pangwang over here. Yeah, he's coming in to rein it in.
Click like. This is going to be a good one. I promise. This took us a long time to put together.
Yes. Okay, so some of you might remember a guy called Commie Dylan.
Okay.
But if you don't, here's a little refresher, just a very quick refresher of who he is. Do you remember?
Turn it back up.
Oh, yeah.
We
Sorry.
have a first-time guest, China Daily colleague and member of the Communist Party USA, Dylan. Thank you for joining us.
Gulag, Stalin, death, starvation. So now he's back and he has his own show.
Ooh. So you got upgraded.
Yeah. Radical revolution, cadre, mode of production, bourgeoisie. Stalin is my aphrodisiac. Proletariat, I just seize the means of production.
Doesn't this place look familiar? It's often called the Chinese Santorini. But if I had to choose, I'd pick this place right here.
What? Okay. This is the Zhongguorini. China's fake Santorini.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so...
But do you guys know what Santorini is?
Yeah, we'll show you in a second, but
It's
I
that
think
place
everybody
in
knows.
Greece. It's just so you guys know, it's those white houses with the blue domes.
It's a
in the
beautiful,
ocean.
like,
It's pretty
seaside thing.
It's Greece.
And this guy is trying to tell us that he'd prefer to be here. This is China's Santorini.
We're going to show you why I strongly don't believe he believes that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
we
sorry, but
found
can you just look at what we're looking at here? This footage is unedited.
Yes.
This is his China. I can't remember if it's China Daily or Xinhua, whatever. One of the CGTN, one of the big state medias put this nonsense out. But they're trying to say that this is impressive, and you would rather go here than Santorini, to China Santorini.
Wait till we take you inside.
Yeah, wait till you really see what this place looks like. I'm sorry, they should not have done this.
They should not have done this. This is a bad one.
Yeah, let's have a quick look, okay? Well,
You're not getting. I love what we did.
Yeah. That looks horrible, by the way. This is the real one.
I like this little. This sounds like a Persona song.
It does.
Persona 4 or 5.
Yeah, it does, definitely. That's Santorini.
That's Santorini. You got the kazoo. I like the kazoo.
Oh, yeah. That's a better day.
Oh, you picked up different footage too, yeah.
Yeah, it looks really nice there, right? Oh, I'm sorry, but doesn't that look really nice?
I would love to be there.
I'd love to be sitting there overlooking that view and you're getting really good fresh food and it looks amazing. Yeah, that looks great. Sorry.
This is their footage. This is state media.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that restaurant compared to this? Look at the curtains in the background. Okay, come on.
You're not going to believe what the streets look
Yes. So, okay, what you're seeing here is China's state media, because this particular village, you'll see why, but it's very hot right now.
Yes, it gets, because it's for a sinister ass reason.
Yeah. But it's being put out by Chinese state media as the Santorini of China.
Yes.
And there are multiple videos all around the internet trying to show off how amazing it is.
Yes.
So this footage is from one of those propaganda videos trying to show you how cool it is.
Yes.
And this is what they show.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, let's carry on.
Being in China for nearly 10 years, I finally have the chance to visit Fujian. My destination is Aojiao Fishing Village, and I'm curious to find out why it's known as the most beautiful fishing village in China. Let's dive in. Aojiao Village lies along the southeastern coast of Fujian province. Surrounded by the sea, its people have relied on fishing as a way of life for generations. In 2024, President Xi Jinping inspected this village, bringing it national recognition.
What is this, North Korea?
Yep. So,
now we know why they're there.
They also made him wear a stupid hat.
They always do.
Have you noticed it doesn't matter how much of a shill you are, you can be a Communist Party member of whatever, and you come there, they're still going to dress you up like a fool. This guy studied Chinese his whole life. You know, he goes to China as this Communist Party member. He's still just a white monkey.
Yep.
It's really frustrating. It must be so bad for these guys.
Yeah, he speaks fluent Chinese. He dedicated his life to... I actually feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Not even joking.
He dedicated his life to communism, basically.
Right. Well, I don't feel bad about that. But I feel bad about, like, them still ridiculing you.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, come on, dude. You look like a tit.
Literally.
I'm
It's a nipple on his head, bro.
Looks so bad.
Bro got a woven nipple on his head.
It's like, what are you doing, bro?
Bro wearing an areola.
Pretty much. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, this is China's most beautiful fishing village. You heard him say it himself, right?
Yes.
This is considered China's most beautiful fishing village.
Okay, by the way, the Xi
Yes.
Jinping visit makes this incredibly relevant and important.
Yes.
If Xi Jinping goes somewhere, it's just like if Kim Jong-un goes somewhere.
Yes.
It gets blessed by the Midas touch.
Yes, and now
every dollar will be thrown at it. It will be groomed to be perfect to the outside world.
Yeah.
Because it has to show that this was Xi Jinping's idea.
Yeah,
Right.
correct. Okay, so let's carry on here for a little bit, shall we? Look at that place. Looks like a communist grid.
It's my first time seeing people do live streaming sales.
Bullshit.
Yes,
Been in
10
China
years.
10 years.
It's so cool.
来欢迎我们的小五哈，是来我们福建漳州东山岛澳角渔村附近的一个海域，都是我们自家渔船捕捞、自家工厂生产的一款深海9节虾干。今天呢，我们小五来到我们直播间啊，我们老板是特别的高兴哈，所以呢，我们给大家准备了一份福利，到手价值需要68.8。来，直播间的新粉老粉们，准备好你们的手速网速哈，3、2、1，上链接。来，今天我们的直播就到此结束了哈，感谢你们，来，拜拜。
Wait, am I actually a capitalist?
Oh no. Oh no, yeah, he's a communist member of Communist Party USA, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Now he's doing live stream
He's doing
sales.
live stream sales. That's like the
dang.
most capitalist thing you can do.
Dang.
He's really like betraying his roots here.
Dang.
Karl Marx is not happy.
No.
Anyway, let's see where it goes.
During my stay in Aojiao village, I came to understand why it's called the most beautiful fishing village in China. Its charm isn't just in the stunning scenery or the picturesque village setting.
Let's zoom in. What do you think?
Yeah, because
This is where they effed up.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, they keep going on about how picturesque and beautiful this village is. First of all,
It's like trying to make fetch happen, dude.
this is Chinese state media. This is a propaganda video. They're going to take the best shots they
Yes,
can.
yes.
They're going to portray this in the most beautiful, most amazing way possible.
Yep.
But even then, it looks crappy.
This is where they effed up.
Yeah, this is where they really effed up.
Because this cannot be ugly. It's
Yes.
not allowed.
Yes.
Because the great leader went there
Yeah.
and said this is like a symbol of our success.
Yes, I mean,
let's look.
We will. I just zoom a little bit out again to this big wide shot
Isn't
they have,
just
this
in the
drone
stunning
shot.
scenery or the picturesque village setting.
Even before we go anywhere, is that not the most boring cookie cutter, like communist grid that you've ever
Yes.
seen? There's nothing beautiful. Like when you think of a fishing village, it's usually a little bit like,
Well, it's Santorini.
yeah, it's Santorini. It's not like, let's build a grid 10 by 10, with concrete buildings. Okay.
Can we zoom in finally? I'm
Yes,
itching.
I'm sorry, but we decided to zoom in because one thing that they forget is that Baidu, just like Google, has a street view option. And we
Shall
found
we see?
the street
Let's
view.
look. Oh, it's so pretty.
Yes. Isn't this so wonderful? But don't worry, it gets much better.
That is a beautiful town. I just love what they did. This island is gorgeous. Wouldn't you want to go here?
Yeah, look at that building over there. Isn't that wonderful? The most beautiful
it's-
fishing village.
It's Santorini.
Yeah, wonderful.
China, you got to start hiding stuff a little better.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I see the Xi Jinping propaganda on
Of
the
course,
side
you
there.
wouldn't be China without it.
Yeah.
Ah, look at that. That's
What,
gorgeous.
what even is that?
I just like Dylan said. I don't know about you, but I choose this one.
Yes,
not
that's-
Santorini.
No. I mean, this is clearly superior. But wait, it gets better because as you go a little bit deeper, because this is an island, right? It's just a little island.
Right.
You go a little bit deeper and you see just how bad this place really is. Okay, let's get past. Yeah, okay. This is a little further, like just down the road, like probably about 1 kilometer away from where we started.
Yeah. As a motorcycle repair shop.
I'm sorry, but like, what are we looking at here? This is hideous.
This is the most beautiful village in China.
Dude, the most beautiful fishing village in China. Look at the walls of that building. They're rotting and this rusty, horrible thing.
It's just so... they're using a banner to make rain go off.
Yeah, like a
soaking
roof.
their house and turning mold. Look at all the mold
Everything's
everywhere.
falling apart.
Look at this school.
That is
an
a
active
middle school.
Imagine... pause that real quick, okay? Look at next to it.
What?
Imagine you
What
invite
is-
someone over to your
what is
house.
that?
It's like a bomb down.
What is that? Like you walk out of your school and that building over there is right next to the entrance to your school. What happens in there? It looks like
It looks like a torture facility.
It looks like a torture facility and a butchery in one.
You know those people that were petitioning Beijing? This is where they end up.
Yes, yes, they do.
They end up in
I love the fact that this is a middle school. There's some kind of poster with
There was.
propaganda on it, and they haven't even bothered to like clean it
Yes.
or paint it or do anything. It's all
100
just
years
falling. What is
education is
what
the
is that
priority.
sign up there? The green
What are they
sign.
trying to sell?
What is happening here? This is a
But
beautiful
you know what? Look,
Santorini.
see that green license plate? Good thing they got EVs there. Their
Yeah,
priorities
at least
are
like
straight.
the EVs are there, right?
Yeah.
Dude, call me Dylan. Get bent. What is this?
Dude, this
What
is-
the hell is
this?
this?
On the main
This is the main. What's going on? This is like it's like a bomb went off, dude, and this is what was left.
This Gaza?
it may as well be. Look at this.
Oh my! And this is the most beautiful. This is.
China's most beautiful fishing village, guys.
It's not just like egg on face about the beautiful village. This is 100% priority of the central government to visit here and make sure this is emblematic of China's success.
Dude, okay. This is people are living there, right?
Yes.
The sign used to have a banner up there that just like ripped itself apart and like rotted away. Still, they haven't bothered. These other things have faded.
To quote Dylan, this is where I choose. I choose this one.
I love the filthy clothing hanging out
rust.
the windows with the rust coming down from the air conditioner units up there. You know, the thing is, we know this place because we've seen this over and over again in
This
China.
is what China looks like.
China does look like this.
When
Dude,
you're not on red note,
Yeah.
reality is this.
Guangdong fishing
Yes,
village.
every single one looks
every
like
one of them. We've got footage of going through the exact same
You
places.
know, I got excited when Dylan was like, this is so beautiful. It's China's Santorini. I was like, maybe they've changed. So we're like, let's zoom in.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, this
Nothing
is
has changed. It's a
this
lie.
is that
China's a
Aojiao
lie.
village on what is it called?
What's the island?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dongshan Dao.
Dao, yeah.
Is it Dongshan Dao? This is it. This is that. I love that.
Swan La Bar.
Swan La Bar.
Look at this bar. Can we analyze this bar?
Yeah, let's take a look at the bar.
There is no paint on it. It is molding, and it has a pile of trash in front of it with a dumpster.
It says DVD MP3 on that.
By the way,
side.
that's a funny name for a bar.
Swanla.
Swanla just means,
it means forget about it.
Forget
like,
about
yeah.
whatever. So
forget
it's like,
about a bar.
And bar, ba sounds like ba. It means Swanla
Yeah.
ba means like whatever. So they have a ramshackle bar and they call it whatever bar. It's kind
Yeah.
of perfect.
You know
love
what? What's a really clever name for a bar, but then everybody used it is 98. Bar 98, because Jiu Bar.
Oh, Jiu Ba.
Because
Yeah.
Jiu means alcohol and bar is bar, so it's
bar,
like
yeah.
alcohol bar, Jiu Bar. You see that in all those like Lonely Planet type
Yes.
places.
Do you want to buy CDs and DVDs? 'Cause
I don't want to
that's-
go to this bar. Like I don't know about you. I like. By the way, I do like that they try to give it that seaside vibe with
I
these like
do.
tires. You see the
I
tires?
see the tires. Do you think Dylan went here?
Maybe Dylan went here for his like to go out in the town afterwards.
I'd
He's
chill
like,
there if I had to be there.
Yeah, he's like, hey man, I'm here in the Chinese Santorini, the most beautiful fishing village in China. I'm gonna go to Swan La Bar after I'm finished here doing my propaganda shoot.
So bad.
Go
dude.
lick the mold off the wall over there.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. This is just disgraceful.
Keep going. There's more.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Hey, they've got a Pac-Man.
they got a Pac-Man.
Yeah.
You see those kind of restaurants everywhere.
You
They
get
have
like
cheap
little dumplings and stuff.
They're
They're
actually
kind of
from
cool.
Fujian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get those fish balls with the thing inside.
Yeah.
Those are
It's
nice,
not bad,
actually.
not
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, this looks horrendous, but the food there's not bad. Yeah,
We
I
are
like
looking
that.
at a war scene.
I love the cables and said, come on, guys. China,
China's
try a little
Santorini,
harder.
dude.
Xi Jinping, what are you going to this village for? Xi Jinping's going to this village. Oh, Zhuge Hao looks at some seafood or something. Everyone's like, whoa, this is the best place in the world.
And then everyone buys it.
Yeah.
That's what's wild.
Xi Jinping ain't got no standards.
Well, apparently, he didn't get to see this.
No, he didn't get. They probably like airdropped it right
Yeah.
down to the like grid.
Yes.
You know?
Definitely.
Wow, that's rough.
I mean, it's actually worse than I even thought.
Yeah, it's bad, dude.
It's so bad. But guess what? It gets way worse. It gets way, way worse. Why do we have to listen to a communist employee white guy?
Yeah.
Why don't we actually listen to a Chinese guy?
Yeah, listen to an actual Chinese man who cares.
So this was the groomed, beautiful fishing village, right? What about the fishing village right next to it on the same coast of Fujian? In fact, it's in the same city.
Yes, it's the same. So, you know, like the city that this particular fishing village falls under?
Yeah.
What is it, Zhangzhou?
Yeah.
There's another fishing village like just up the road.
It's also
from this
in
one.
Zhangzhou.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same prefecture.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
So this goes into soft power. We're going to take you into the reality of the situation. This is messed up.
Yeah.
So this is why this was so important, right?
Yeah.
What does this say? During his visit last year, Xi finally recalled that during his first trip to Aojiao in 2001, he already foresaw the village's enormous potential. When I was working in Fujian, I noticed that our island communities held tremendous promise. That is, when I proposed leveraging both the mountains and the sea, using mountain resources if you live by the mountains, and using the sea if you live by the sea.
So he proposed that. That was his idea. Hey, guys, if you live in the mountains, use the resources in the mountains. Guys, if you live next to the sea, use the resources in the sea. Do you think they didn't know that? They were like, holy crap, I've been hiking like 10 kilometers to go get some dirt from a neighboring village.
I was so stupid. I was up there traipsing around in the snow on the peak of that mountain trying to sell mahi-mahi, and it just wasn't working.
Exactly.
I just couldn't do it.
Exactly. I'm trying to plant crops in the ocean. It's not working.
They float
this
away.
Banana tree, I put it into the sea and it just floats. Yeah. Come on, guys. This guy is like dumb. It's like, I thought this up. Wow. And everybody takes this at face value, and they'll put this slogan on the walls. They'll teach this in school.
Oh, really? It'll be calligraphy.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, and they will teach this in school to kids. Xi Jinping said, if you live in the mountain, use the resources of the mountain. If you live by the sea, use the resources of the sea. And they'll be like, what a great man.
Wow,
he is
that was
such a
prophetic.
visionary. Wow, amazing.
Wow, so good. I bet Rick would say that, wouldn't
He would.
Wow, so good.
Okay, so let's get into their reality.
Yeah, let's get into the reality.
Look at the fishing village right below it. So there's in 2018.
So yeah,
there was an issue with this fishing village. Remember, this is
by
in
the
the
way,
same city.
You can see it looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
There's just Xi Jinping didn't go to this one down the road.
No,
he went to the other one.
Even though this is in the same city.
Yes.
It says, in the past, all our domestic waste had to be transported off the island for treatment, which took a long time and was inefficient and inevitably had a certain impact on the environment on the island and in the sea. Now that our island has its own waste incineration plant, the situation will effectively be improved, Mr. Tai said. A villager in Wuyu Village happily told reporters. Shall we look at it? And so this is 2018.
Yes.
Shall we see how it's improved after the incinerator and now in 2025, literally the other day?
Sure.
Okay.
我的心都碎了，你知道吗？当你看到这个
You
场景
know
的
why?
时候，
You will know when you see this scene.
这就是海边，
This is the seaside.
然后这个垃圾是直接排海
Garbage is directly discharged to the sea.
Yeah.
这么大量的垃
Such a
圾，
large amount of garbage.
我在长江边上捡了
I've
这么
been
多年
picking
垃
up
圾，
garbage on the Yangtze River for
面对
many
这种
years.
场景真的是
I'm really
无
powerless
能
in
为
the
力。
face of this kind of scene. This guy's a
不管
hero.
怎么样，
Yeah, he's a hero.
我还是打电话举
Whatever,
报
I'll still call and report it and see what they reply.
看一下有什么回复。
Hello, this is 1270 at your service.
号为您服务。你好，郑州市123。
Hello,
Just-
Zhangzhou City. How can
Yeah.
I help you?
So Zhangzhou City is where this Aojiao Island,
Yeah, it's
the one
also
that we
the other
saw
one, yeah.
with Commie Dillon, and this one are both part of that city. By the way, can we just take a look at this mound of garbage
Yeah.
that's just being pushed into the sea?
Yeah.
Wonderful, isn't it?
It's disgusting.
是我请问什么？
How can I help you?
你好，我想投
I
诉
would
一
like to complain about a
个
pollution
污
problem.
染的问题。
您请说哪个地方？
Where and what situation is it? There's a kid in the background
Yeah, you
on
can
her
hear.
phone. Yeah.
什么情况呢？
Wuyu Village, Gangwei Town, Longhai District, Zhangzhou City.
港尾镇吴语村。从现场来看的话，它
Judging from the scene, it's garbage from the village.
就是没有处理，
Look at how much garbage that is.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at that. That's him.
Yeah, he's on top of the garbage pile.
It wasn't disposed or transported. It was directly poured into the sea.
倒到海里面去了。
村里的生活垃圾
So the garbage wasn't taken away and it was going straight to the sea? Yes. It's mostly this village's garbage. I'll reply to this request to this phone number. Thank you. Thanks for your call. I wish you a happy life. Goodbye.
What is that? That's ominous.
It is. So this massive pot, this just sheer mountain of garbage was dealt with in 2018.
Yeah, well, they
It
said
wasn't
they built an incinerator.
China
right?
doesn't do shit.
No.
China doesn't do shit. And even the places that get all this lavish attention from the government look like shit too.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with dictatorships. This is the problem with one-party states. This is the problem when you have a government that arrests people for complaining, right?
Yeah.
Do you know why I say that? This number that he called, this is in Fujian, right?
Yeah.
This woman in the next clip, she also called this number. She called this number to complain about something. You want to see what happened to her?
We've got another clip to show you. Before we do, I mean, we looked this up on Google Earth, and you can see the garbage pile from Google Earth.
Yes.
You know, we actually looked it up next to this building he's standing next to. It's pretty insane.
Again, this is right down in the. It's in the same city as Aojiao Village, that
China's most beautiful fishing
what is
village.
Freaking Santorini.
Yes.
You know,
China's Santorini. The hell.
This is the people glazing China and saying like they got it all figured out and everything's free and they have social programs and it's clean. Full of shit, dude.
Yeah,
you're full of shit.
Green technology, sorry.
We lived
Look
there
at this.
over a decade, and we've never seen anything actually work out, to be honest.
This is why when China promises things like, oh, we're going to improve the environment, we're going to bring emissions down, or, you know,
or
it's a lie.
The UK is like, we're going to partner up with China now because Trump's not good for the environment or whatever. We're going to partner up with China. We're going to partner up with China.
Yeah.
We're going to partner up with this pile of shit garbage is what you're saying.
Again, you can look at every single promise, every 5-year plan that China has promised to do. None of it has ever been held. Like, they've never, ever kept their promise.
No.
So, you know, every time you see China's going to do this, China's going to do that, it's nonsense. They make a big hoo-ha.
Well, it's great for bureaucrats that just want the stats delivered by the government, that they've done this and that and this and that, EV and, you know, solar this and garbage this.
Exactly. They say, hey, listen, there's a problem. We're cracking down on it. We're putting in an incinerator. We're going to fix it.
Yes.
And then that's how they work. Then everybody's attention's taken away because they're like, oh, good, it's been dealt with.
Yep.
You know, then they go look somewhere else. And then they never do it.
Yeah.
And if they do it, they do it for a minute and then leave it because it's too much hassle. And the problem still persists and it gets worse. But because they made a big hoo-ha about it, everybody already thinks that the Chinese government's great and they're capable of taking care of problems.
Yep.
They didn't do anything.
No.
Anyway, yeah,
Also,
this woman...
So this is also in Fujian.
Yes,
We
so
want to keep this all
Xiamen.
local.
So this is Xiamen, which is, you know, a big city.
Nearby
Nice
there.
city, been there.
Yeah.
This is Xiamen nearby. This woman called because she was having trouble with the urban management. Urban management are the guys that walk around and enforce like signage on the roads, and you can't put things on the road. So she called that number to complain.
So you remember we just watched that phone call, right?
So she called the number to say urban management have been like rough and not nice, and they're like doing bad things or whatever. So what do you think happened?
Let's have a look. Let's see your one-party state. The police took her away.
Yeah, the police came and roughed her up and took her away because she phoned to complain.
To complain about law enforcement.
Yeah, that's how it works in China. You don't get rid of the problem. You get rid of the people that are exposing the problem.
Correct. Just like that hero. So that guy, he does a lot of amazing work. He goes around China and finds out if the government programs are working. Yeah. Are they getting rid of pollution? Are they getting rid of the cancer villages?
Yes.
Are they getting rid of the pollution or the garbage, right? And he goes and does this, and I have a lot of clips of him. I follow him. I love this guy.
Yeah,
He's
we'll
doing
show more
great
from him.
Stuff. But I'm worried about him too.
Me too. By the way, just so you know, this kind of site that you're seeing here is fairly common. The reason why we can say it's fairly common is we've come across it ourselves a lot. We've traveled around all of China, okay, except
Show you
for
this on Red Note.
No, except for Xinjiang and Tibet. Those are
That's
the only two regions we haven't been. Every other region, you will find scenes like this in the rural areas. It's very common.
Very.
Yeah, so we just want to splash a little bit of reality on everybody who's been inundated by Chinese propaganda these days.
Yeah. Speaking of which, gutter oil, you know, they dig up oil used oil from the troughs and the gutters of China, and then they repurpose it, right?
Yes.
This is how it's done. This woman's watching people at night, not in restaurant uniform, in the middle of the night digging out oil from a grease trap in the street.
Because, you know, restaurants will have a grease trap to prevent the grease from going, and they are supposed to be cleaned out properly, okay? But when you've got clandestine people coming in the middle of the night to steal the grease, you know it's not legit.
No.
Okay? So what they do is they take the gutter oil, as it's called, sewer oil, and they take it to be repurposed in these gutter oil factories.
which jams it full of carcinogens and, of course, bacteria and things like that.
Yes.
But the thing
here is one of those processing plants.
So this is what you saw in the thumbnail, right? This is what's still happening. And this was a perfect example, and this is directly related to that garbage pile we're talking about. Yeah. They made a law now, 10 years ago, in China that you get the death penalty if you are caught making gutter oil, because it was so embarrassing for China.
Yes,
right?
It's huge embarrassment.
They are still doing it en masse. It has not gone anywhere.
Of course not.
Faced with death, China doesn't do shit.
Yeah, they don't care.
Nope.
Because there's a profit to be made.
Yes.
If you go and you take that degoyo, as it's called, the gutter oil, from literally the sewers, and you go and sell it to these processing plants, and as you can see, it's not exactly very clean, you'll make a profit. You'll make a decent profit. Now, there are proper ways to dispose of it. Like it can go to become industrial lubricants and things like that, but they don't do that because there's no profit in that.
No. So, selling it back to the restaurant, because let's say you pay $100 for a big jug of oil, you're now paying $10. Right, it does the same job.
Exactly.
Gives it a certain amount of flavor as well. We've had gutter oil a lot in China.
Here's the thing. Most Chinese cooking involves oil. And that's maybe why people maybe don't understand why it's such a big thing. But pretty much all of the cooking in the restaurant, it's all fried in oil.
Yeah.
Right? That's how Chinese people, they either steam or they fry things.
Yes.
So there's no ovens. Nothing gets baked.
No.
All right. So there's a huge amount of oil that's used, and it is a massive cost for restaurants.
It is.
So for them to go and buy this used gutter oil, it saves them a lot of money in the long run.
It does.
Even in the short run.
It does. So again, top-down policy, not doing anything.
Yeah.
They haven't fixed it.
Yeah.
But this is directly, honestly, related to this too.
Yeah, right? But before we even get onto that, I just got to say, if you go to a street stall in China on the street to go buy some street food, there's a very large percentage that you are eating gutter oil.
Yeah.
Very large, because
just be aware.
Those guys make such little profit. It's really cheap. When you buy some fried noodles on the side of the road, they don't have the money to go buy a nice high-grade cooking oil.
Yeah.
They're getting degoyo. They also reuse their own oil over and over for like years or whatever until it's like solid. Yeah. But the thing is, they will be buying degoyo. So you're probably eating degoyo if you eat from a street vendor in a rural place, and even big restaurants have been caught and are still doing that. Mm-hmm. So just be aware.
So this has been in the news, right? And the reason we're bringing this up is it's very related. China's taken issue with Trump's move to link tariffs to fentanyl. They're getting pissed off. And in fact, if you go to the next picture, this is the real crux of this.
Yeah.
This is in state media. What does this say?
China has never exported fentanyl-related medications to North America.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Exactly.
Because this is the Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the United States and the Chinese Communist Party. This is an official report, right? You know what they found?
Well,
the CCP's role in the fentanyl crisis. You know what they found?
Well, the CCP is giving tax breaks for companies that are exporting fentanyl.
So China, bald-faced, is now going out there saying this tariff stuff is unfair because we actually never even sent fentanyl to America.
Yeah.
And quite literally was giving tax breaks to companies to do it.
Well, they're giving tax breaks for these companies to create these fentanyl or chemicals that are, part of the whole fentanyl drug processing thing. They give them tax rebates and subsidies so that this stuff can be sent.
You can see that.
Yeah.
So they can export rebate subsidies for fentanyl.
Yeah, export
fentanyl
rebate
analogs,
subsidies.
PCP, and other chemicals. So there was more than just fentanyl.
Yeah, exactly.
There was other drugs too. It's almost like they're trying to poison the U.S.
So the government's like, hey, if you export fentanyl, we'll pay for that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not only did they supply it, they're like, have a tax break.
Yeah, we're going to basically with subsidies means they're actually just paying for it.
Yes, we want you to do this more.
Break. Yeah. The Chinese government is subsidizing fentanyl production. Yeah. Simple as that. And the export of fentanyl. So go sit and swivel, China, with your nonsense.
There's another rebate.
Yeah.
Anyway, the
2019.
document's in the description.
Yeah, if you want to go read up on it, the full document's in the description. But we all know that China is behind supplying the fentanyl to the world, and they've been pushing it really hard. And as I've said before, I do think that it's a misguided revenge for the opium wars and the century of humiliation, as they call it. Actually, 2 centuries of humiliation. And you will not hear the end of it when you live in China. School children are taught this Everyone's taught this. They won't shut up about this century of humiliation. It's one of the biggest things that they're taught to feel inadequate.
Peter has a good point. He says, question to China, why the fentanyl war? We are not Britain.
Yeah, exactly.
What do we do
But
as
again,
Americans?
when you live in China, you'll understand that the West is
just
the
West, yeah.
And it doesn't matter. There's no difference between France or Germany or England or America or
Canada.
Brazil or anywhere. It's just that's the West.
Yep.
They're the outsiders. That's why they call everybody Uiguaran.
Yeah.
It's literally
Outside
just
country
foreign person.
Yeah.
And it annoys the crap out of me that they call me a Uiguaran here too.
In America?
Yes.
Well, you are.
No, but
You
I
are
mean,
foreigner.
like, but when they're
They
a
don't know
tourist.
that.
No,
They
they
don't know
don't.
that, yeah.
It just annoys the crap out of me,
They
doesn't
call
it?
me a foreigner in my
Yeah,
own
that's what I'm
country.
saying. You know?
It's quite rich.
Remember when we went like
think,
out
you know
to
what
the skiing slope or
Yes,
whatever?
yes.
And they're like, oh, these Uiguaran wear this or whatever. And you're
Yeah.
like, what the hell are you talking about? You're a tourist.
I said, when I reply in Chinese, it always gives them quite the scare.
Yeah, exactly.
I say, who's the foreigner now?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, just had to bring this up because it's quite crazy. Speaking of the China and drugs, this is quite an issue. You know, Oklahoma has a huge problem with Chinese criminal gangs.
Yeah, apparently the land for illegal grow ops or fraud grow ops for marijuana is very cheap in Oklahoma. And the rule is you can get, if you're an Oklahoma resident,
Yeah.
for 2 years, I guess you can make your own grow op.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll get people that are residents, and then these Chinese gangs will run these grow ops.
Yeah. These very dangerous criminal gangs.
Yeah.
I mean, just everybody knows by now that marijuana or pot is legal in many states in America. It's fairly legal, right?
Yeah,
It's
most
not,
of them, I think.
It's not a huge deal. But that's not what this is all about. This is about there are these illegal Chinese gangs, and they operate on the black market, and they want to grow and sell this marijuana to make a profit.
Yeah, it's
and
business.
the way they do it is in an illegal way, because they're illegal. They bring in illegal people that are
Illegal
not
immigrants and
yeah,
stuff.
illegal
Oh,
immigrants. You'll see if you read these articles that a lot of them have been detained and are in
for
immigration.
ICE, yeah.
And so what happens is they'll approach a scumbag who lives in whatever area, and they'll be like, we just need to use your name because you live here. We'll pay you a certain amount. The guy's like, okay, he signs papers. Now he's the boss.
He's complicit.
You know, of course he's complicit. This guy was arrested, this particular guy. So he's like the boss, but he doesn't do anything. He never even goes on site, never sees anything.
Right.
They build these factories. They start farming marijuana using illegal trafficked slave labor from China. And they operate on this, there's this underground pipeline between the East Coast and the West Coast where they distribute these drugs everywhere, make a huge profit, of course, to fund their other illicit activities. And it's a big problem, and it's a big problem in Oklahoma, as you can see.
Yeah.
You know,
and to move it along, the irony here is that China has a massive drug problem too. Right?
Yes.
We've seen it everywhere, especially with heroin and methamphetamines and stuff.
Oh,
right?
and by the way, just the idea of growing marijuana, if you were to do that in China, that's it. You're done.
Yes.
Death penalty if you try to do it as a business.
Right. So here's some, drug addicts in China.
Yes.
Go ahead and in Yunnan. We saw this a lot, across, especially across the borders in Yunnan and stuff.
Yeah.
And Guangxi as well. And the thing is, they take it incredibly seriously. They execute people every day for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They take down massive organizations. They take it deadly seriously. And I thought you guys might be interested in some anti-drug posters. That you might see
I think it's kind of interesting because I think most people have this skewed idea that the drug addicts it's kind of an American problem.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a big problem.
Because
old ladies used to try to sell us meth.
Yes,
in the street.
Exactly. But when it comes to drugs and China, people seem to think that China has it under control and that there aren't drug addicts there. That's not true.
Well, they do take it seriously.
Yeah.
Not so much the addicts, like the production and stuff. They'll have like a big bus and they'll put it out for show, right?
Yeah.
Like I said. So they don't take it seriously abroad.
Yeah.
They're like, go commit your crimes abroad. That's fine.
Yes.
Dear citizens. We're going to take care of it here, even though there's a massive drug problem, right? I thought it was kind of interesting.
Do you know that the drug problem is so big in China that every single time you go to sing karaoke, you are bombarded with these horrendous videos in front of the karaoke before you start, and it shows like all these horrible side effects of drugs and stuff, and they're like, don't take drugs, because they know everybody takes drugs.
It's like if you went to go play mini golf, right? And they pulled down a screen every time, and they're like, don't shoot up heroin while you play mini golf. They do that every time you go to KTV. And by the way, KTV is ubiquitous across China. Everyone of every age goes and does it.
Yeah, so a little kid goes in there and It's like, don't take...
It'll show like an army guy and like a dead person. And
they'll
all
be
these
like, we'll
horrible
execute
imagery.
you if you take drugs or steal, like distribute drugs and stuff. It's pretty bad. So, I mean, we just wanted to, again, splash a little reality on everybody.
Yes.
China isn't a utopia where there are no drug addicts. In fact,
no, I mean, they just hide it. Right?
Yeah, it's just hidden.
Yeah.
Although it's not hidden when you're there.
No, this stuff's everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're a foreigner that is shilling for the Chinese government and you don't know much, you probably can't read these. And you look at them, you're like, what's that crazy? Is it a band poster?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, honestly, if you were just a foreign shill and you saw a poster, an anti-drug poster, except for this one that you can kind of make out of marijuana leaf, you probably wouldn't know what it is.
No.
Like you say, is it a poster for a band?
You don't know.
Is that like an album cover or something?
Cool.
It's like, woo, Puppet Master.
Right.
Yeah. It's just the Chinese knockoff Metallica.
It could be. Like a shit Metallica.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the idea, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get that out the way, and now it's Worldview, where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China.
We'll try to rip this fast.
through this one. Okay.
Big business there. Those medicines that Americans are taking a lot, Ozempic and Wegovy and all those things, like make your appetite go away and then you lose weight. They work, right?
Okay.
So China's catching on. Turns out, I thought this is crazy. China's obese. People think of China as probably some thin country. This is not Japan. It's not Korea.
Yes.
China's obesity crisis is a sizable profit opportunity. More than half of Chinese adults are overweight or obese. Half.
Yeah.
Half. Figure expected to hit 2/3 by 2030. That's nearly 900 million people. So think about that market, right? So these companies, I want to get in there with these weight loss drugs.
Makes sense.
Makes sense, right? I just thought that was a wild stat. Like people don't think of China like that.
I think it's also quite different the way Chinese people carry weight.
Yeah.
So they don't look as fat as they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's snowballed since we left.
I understand.
And you also didn't spend enough time up north where a lot of people are wicked
you are
fat,
right. You are
dude.
true. You're true.
Even when I lived there.
You are true. When I went to up north, I did notice that the people were much heavier up there.
Yeah. And that's hundreds of millions.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was super fast. All these are down below, by the way, if you're new to the show. All of our links are down below. This is a fascinating article on New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
They went back and looked at remember the zero COVID thing? The worst lockdown in the history of mankind in China where people starved to death.
Destroyed businesses.
Pets.
Yeah.
Killed your pets
They
in
killed your
house.
pets if you had pets.
Yeah.
They literally took children away from families.
Yes, and put them in metal boxes.
Yes, it was the most horrific thing ever. It's the fact that China always manages to do these terrible things and then pretend like nothing happened.
Dude.
It kind of makes me mad.
It makes me so crazy that people aren't still talking about this. So they obviously are with this, but like the majority of the world should still be up in arms that they literally destroyed the psyche of hundreds of millions of people. You thought you had it bad?
By the way, if you're some kind of like a anti-vaxxer or something, blame China.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to even think about a COVID vaccine if it wasn't for the Wuhan lab.
That's true.
of virology.
That's true. By the way, German spies are now pretty much confirming that it came from
the German intelligence, all along, they've said...
Well, I mean, they're saying...
now they're saying... They've all along said that it came from the Wuhan, Institute of Virology or Chinese lab, but it was never made public. Now it's coming out public.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, it's the most logical thing. Occam's razor, right?
Occam's razor. Can you click this?
Yeah.
It was interesting. They went back to some of these neighborhoods, right? And they shut down all these businesses. So look, they're still shuttered up. And the reason is they said, your businesses were too close to each other, so you're done. We're shutting you down.
And people weren't allowed to go out, and people weren't allowed to operate businesses during that time anyway.
You know what's rich, though? Now you're not allowed to talk about that.
Yes.
So they have this economic fallout, right, of how horrible these lockdowns were, but now you can't talk about it. You can't talk about COVID anymore in China.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. They tried to completely vanish it. They said, nobody died of COVID, but it's done, by the way. Shut up. Don't talk about it. Remember these protests?
Yeah, remember when they took those signs down?
I took them down. You know what's funny is that these police cars that are there for surveillance are there since the protest, and they never got rid of them.
And they never will. They'll stay there now to make sure nobody goes back to that road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never forget what China did to you.
Now, look what they've done. They've changed the COVID testing booths. You can see it's got the sink. They've turned them into like postal stalls, where they sell magazines and things.
Everyone in the country multiple times a day had to line up in front of these and get tested in a crowd of other people that probably had COVID.
Which was the stupidest idea. We want to test you for COVID. Let's all go get together rather than stay isolated.
You don't do it, you go to jail.
Yes.
They will literally drag you out in hazmat suits and throw you into a metal box.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. It was very bad.
This is a fascinating article. China could rewrite history using AI and control the future. We're seeing this happen right now.
You know what
Give an
pisses me off? Okay, guys, I'm going to get us big because we'll probably go straight to our Q&A after this, right?
Yeah.
I'm busy putting together a video, right, the other day for my channel. And I searched, where was the first glass bridge introduced or made? And it comes up with China in the Zhangjiajie or whatever.
Which is wildly untrue.
There's a famous bridge there. I think it's the longest glass bridge and the highest glass bridge. But I'm like, hang on a freaking second here. Because I asked, when did the first one come out? And they came up with that, the AI thing in Google. So then I was like, again, who invented the glass bridge? And it came up with that same Zhangjiajie bridge. I can't even remember where it is now. I haven't retained that knowledge because it wasn't important at the time.
Zhangjiajie,
It's Zhangjiajie, okay. So, and I said, who invented the glass bridge? And it came up with that bridge. I'm like, hang on a second here. When did this bridge open? 2016. So I'm like, pretty sure there are glass bridges before 2016. So I'm like, okay, I know a couple of notable ones. I know there's one in, I think the Tower, the London...
Something or other.
Tower of London Bridge or something. There's like a London Bridge one that's glass. I'm like, when was that? That was like 2014. Okay. Then I'm like, what about that Grand Canyon Skywalk? That's a glass bridge.
It is, a big one.
Yeah. That was 2007.
So why are they lying?
And I keep finding glass bridges that were invented before that one.
Right.
And glass bridges, by the way, the guy who did that one in China is Israeli architect anyway. It's not a Chinese-made thing. It's just like, they paid a guy to do it. But the fact that Google it's impossible to find out the truth anymore.
Yeah.
When I search, when did the first glass bridge come out?
Yeah.
And who invented the first glass bridge? When was the first glass bridge unveiled? It keeps going back to that Chinese one.
Right. And this is one of thousands of things that we've run into.
Yeah. But it's like that Chinese one from 2016 where I know from my own knowledge that there are glass bridges that came out like a decade before, like that Grand Canyon one.
No, this is an issue because like we were running 50 to 100 queries a day, right, when we're doing research for stuff. And compound that over years now.
Yeah.
Now with this AI thing, we've noticed that it started quoting, as fact, Chinese sources.
Yes.
And some of these Chinese sources are AI-written articles,
yes,
which are controlled by the Chinese government that lie about data. And we've talked about this before, but now it'll come up as fact that the Chinese average salary is like $41,000 a year, when in fact it's like 10.
Yes.
Right? Even in China, they admit that it's like 10.
Yeah.
Which is massively skewed to the rich, by the way.
Yes, yes.
So most people are making a shit ton less than that, right? So it's now factual because China made a factual article that now feeds into these language learning models.
It's bad. It's very worrying because even with my long history of using the internet, since the beginning, I was dialing up to BBSs before the internet. I know how to search for something. And I could not easily find out when the first glass bridge was ever made. I couldn't.
No.
It kept coming up with China. All the top articles, all the AI stuff, everything's trying to tell me that the stupid bridge in China is the first glass bridge, and it's not.
Now, to make this worse is take that logic that you have and apply it to the Uyghur genocide.
Yes.
Apply it to Tiananmen Square massacre.
Yes.
Apply it to the erasure of Tibet.
Mm-hmm.
Apply it to China's never fought in any conflicts in the past, like 60 years or whatever.
Yes.
All of these lies are now entering actual American dialogue.
Yes.
Like I'm hearing it come out in big media sources where the big commentators are talking about how China's never had an armed conflict.
Yeah.
And you're like, where's the Vietnam invasion?
What about the Soviet Union?
What about the Soviet
war
Union
they
war?
had?
What about when they took over Tibet? Do you think you just achieve land of a sovereign nation, by the way, by just asking them for it? They invaded and killed everybody.
What about the border skirmishes with
What about
India
all the border
time?
skirmishes?
Taking over the South China Sea. What about the neo-colonialism in Africa?
China has
but China's peaceful.
constant conflicts.
Here's my biggest issue, okay? We both have kids.
Yeah.
I dread the day when my daughter has to look up for a book report or something, and she goes and looks up in Google to try and find out some stat.
Yeah.
And she gets fed some lie from China that's
where
been manipulated.
we're at already. We're already there.
And so she makes a big book report, and her entire worldview will be skewed by this idea that China built the first glass bridge.
Yeah.
Okay? And that China's like amazing this and that, and the next thing in America sucks or whatever.
Meanwhile, it's a pile of garbage.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's false. Yeah. It's freaking false. Yeah. And I can't stand that. I can't stand the fact that it's, you tell a lie long enough until people believe it's the truth.
I'm telling
and
you,
it's
it's
so
like that.
freaking annoying.
It's like that now.
Yeah. People in the audience, can you please tell me when the first glass bridge was invented?
You figure it
I
out
would
first.
like to know. And if it's at all possible, if you've got the means, if any of you guys are technicians or you're really good or you know how to flag and report things, can you try and fix that? Because it's not true that the first glass bridge is that stupid one in
Look at
Zhangjiajie.
this. Searching glass bridges from Sydney still says Zhangjiajie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
This is an issue.
This is, again, it sounds like a silly thing, but it's indicative of everything that's happening.
Yeah.
The glass bridge is indicative.
And if you look at what we showed you earlier, if you were to watch a Communist Party fluff piece about that horrible
Santorini,
village,
Zhongguorini.
that gross village, and let's be honest, it is gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
You would think, because of that fluff piece, it's like, oh, the most beautiful village. It's amazing. And it's like the Chinese Santorini. And in your mind, you'd be like, wow, China's got this great, beautiful place to go visit. Meanwhile, it's like fallout from a war.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
It's not nice. It's rubbish.
Bad. It's bad. It's empirically bad.
It's worse than any fishing village
ugly.
you can go to pretty much anywhere in the world.
It's dirty and ugly.
Yeah.
And so it's the opposite of what is being shown.
Exactly.
Is that not indicative of everything China's doing right now?
Yeah.
And it convinces world leaderships to partner up with it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The world's fucked, if that's the case. I'm sorry for lack of better words.
Yeah.
If you're following China's leadership on this stuff, get ready to live in China's Santorini.
Yes.
That's your future.
If you want that, yeah. Just imagine going to, as a Chinese person, you go to Santorini, you're like, we got this.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we've got this at home. Yes. That's what happens, in the car, and it's like, Mom, I want to go to Santorini. We got Santorini at home, and meanwhile, it's just like horrible wasteland with garbage in the ocean.
Santorini.
Yes.
Unsanitary.
Yes, unsanitary. Santorini. Dude, okay, sorry, rant over. I know I went on a bit too long, but this glass bridge thing really pissed me off.
Yes.
It really pissed me off because it's not true.
Well, it's indicative of everything we're dealing with right now.
Anyway, it's time for us to hit Yamcha, guys. This is our Q&A section where we answer your questions, you question our answers. For those of you who are watching live or sticking around over the weekend, excellent. Let's get into it. For the rest of you, stay awesome. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for hitting our goal, guys, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. That was fantastic.
Goal achieved. Give them another goal because I'm going to pull it.
Well, hang on a second. I got to bring this up here.